Welcome to Psychic Insights, where pop culture meets higher consciousness and the tea is always a little bit mystical. I'm Robin Richardson, your psychic girlfriend, and around here we don't just watch the drama unfold. We read the energy behind it, whether it's celebrity scandals, reality TV, chaos, or true crime with a twist. I'm tuning in to bring you the intuitive scoop the headlines miss. So buckle up, because your aura's about to get entertained. Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Robin Richardson, your psychic girlfriend, hopefully your favorite psychic on the internet. And if not, like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. And maybe I will be your favorite. All right, so, oh my gosh. Have you ever looked at a case that felt like something is missing? Not just the facts, but structure. And this one feels so confusing for me. But before I go further, I need to say this clearly. This is an active and deeply sensitive investigation involving a real family. I'm not law enforcement. I don't work with law enforcement, and I'm not making any factual claims, and I'm not identifying suspects. And what I'm doing here is just really offering symbolic insight through my cards, my energy, and looking at energetic patterns, as you know I do, and just kind of analyzing that, because energy shifts, information evolves. This is a spiritual inquiry, not an accusation. And if, like, what I want to talk about is the Nancy Guthrie case. And, you know, I watched some other psychics, along with independent journalism, Brian Enton, Ashley Banfield, News Nation. And it's baffling. It's just baffling. And, yeah. So when I sat with this case, I expected chaos, but what I got was very different. I got some structure, and that changes how I look at everything. So let's talk about it, all right? So the strongest feeling I had was confusion, but not frantic confusion, but fragmented confusion. And in intuitive language, fragmentation means compartments. Information that's held back, layers that are not yet visible. And when the public, or we're watching this and we only see partial information, our imagination rushes in to fill in the rest. And imagination can be pretty loud. And when I pulled my cards, they were not loud. They were controlled. And I asked, for this spread, I asked 3 questions. What is the deeper structure? What is the public not seeing? And can the energy of money bring resolution? And this morning, which is 24 days into Nancy's disappearance, alleged or thought to be abduction, Savannah Guthrie put out an Instagram saying, or message talking about an $1 million reward. And I was just really curious if money would bring resolution to this. So what I pulled was, and I used the Lenormand cards. I pulled Clover, Fish, House. Where's my other ones? It's hard to get them off the table. Stork, Snake, Mice, and then we had the Tree, the Cross, and the Tower, which is my structure card. And what really struck me immediately is this: there's no explosive chaos here, there's no sudden destruction, no violent rupture energy. Instead, I see planning, pressure, slow erosion, and that's important. So I want to talk about the reward, or money as pressure. And the Clover and the Fish together are about money and opportunity. And Clover can be brief luck, a window, a crack. And the Fish is the financial flow. So this mirrors that $1 million reward. But here's the key. Money doesn't create truth. Money creates pressure, and pressure destabilizes silence. And if someone is holding information, money doesn't magically change morality. It introduces some internal conflict. So like loyalty versus self-preservation, fear versus opportunity, and that tension starts to build, right? But the clover is fleeting. So if resolution comes through money, it likely also comes through timing, not spectacle. So then when we had the house, that's structure over chaos. And the house is the house card is really central to this case in so many ways. It's the environment, it's the routine, it's the private structure, and it doesn't automatically suggest that it's someone that she knew, but it does kind of lend energy towards familiarity with the house, the structure. And there's a difference between personal intimacy and environmental awareness. So the energy feels aware. So aware of Nancy, perhaps aware of her home. It's not impulsive energy. It's emotional and not chaotic. It's just aware. And that's a very different psychological profile than the public often imagines. So then we had the mice and the tree. And when we have mice, that's like erosion, slow erosion. And the tree represents time and long-term roots. So this suggests something may have developed gradually. Maybe stress was building, observation, weakness identified over time. So taking a look at, where the weaknesses might be, right? And again, this is symbolic, but the pattern is slow. It's not, it's not explosive in any way. And slow building pressure often reveals itself slowly too. So this may take time for us to understand fully what happened and who done it, right? So we have the cross and tower, and that's the institutional weight. The cross is the burden. It's heavy responsibility, and there's karmic weight here too. Tower is in the institutions, it's the law enforcement, it's the authority structures. And this tells me that the weight of this case now sits in formal channels, which means progress may feel invisible. We may not hear, the reporters may not be getting everything, and you can kind of see that now, But invisible does not mean inactive. And there's a YouTuber that is a former law enforcement officer and judge, and his perspectives are pretty interesting. And he mentioned that, that invisible doesn't mean inactive. It's definitely not a cold case, but it means it's procedural. So that's hard for the public to sit with, right? But here's what's most important. The public wants light. We want transparency, right? But sometimes the tunnel is still being mapped, and the cards don't show a dramatic collapse. They show pressure building, and pressure changes dynamics over time. And truth in structured cases often surfaces not because someone confesses dramatically, but because burden becomes too heavy to carry quietly. And I think that's part of what this money is, right? It's like offering money, because then maybe the pressure will build enough for the information to come out, whether it's someone close to the perpetrators, or someone who's actually sitting with knowledge about this, right? Okay. So I want to say this again. This is a sensitive case, a real family, an ongoing investigation, and I'm not predicting outcomes here, and I'm not naming people, obviously, and I'm not replacing investigators. Certainly not. I'm reading symbolic patterns and energetic themes because I personally am curious about it, and this has been, kind of a baffling case for me just to tap in. And you know what? It's none of my business energetically anyways, but I am curious. I like to do this kind of work. And if you appreciate this kind of grounded psychic insight where we explore structure, psychology, and the energy without sensationalizing it, then this is the space for you. Because, when intuition is practiced responsibly, it's really not about certainty. It's about discernment. And if you'd like for me to continue exploring cases through this ethical and archetypal lens, then let me know in the comments. We hold the family in compassion. We allow institutions to do their work, and we observe how pressure reshapes structure over time. And sometimes that's where the light enters. So, if you like this kind of analysis, then subscribe, comment in the comments section, because in a world of noise, learning to read structure absolutely matters. At least it does for me. And I'm Robin Richardson, your psychic girlfriend, and I will see you in the next one.